Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is 64-Bit Rick. What am I doing going for a swim in the lake? Well, dear viewer, let me tell you, it is hot. It's bloody hot in Oz. So nothing better on a nice warm day than to have a quick dip. I know the last thing you want to see is me in my budgie smugglers, so let's get on with the 2024 year in review. Let's get to it. For this video, I'm only including the tutorials that I did. I'm not including the 100-day challenge or the brand new world video. I just want to focus on the tutorials since that's what I'm about these days. This big castle was my very first tutorial that I put on the channel, and it was a good one. A real good one, actually. I really enjoyed this. I need to put a sign on some of these builds because I introduced this little sign that I put on each of the builds for the person who created the tutorial, just to give them their props, you know, I didn't design it, I just built it. It's just my little way of saying, hey, thanks. I use a glow ink sac to make it glow in the dark. I have no idea, I just seem to film all of these at night time for some reason. Anyway, on to the next. The next tutorial was a doozy. Man, I turned this ugly shack into this beautiful large spruce house by Lex the Builder. I really enjoyed this. I got so much grief from mobs. I screwed up the balcony roof. I just made so many mistakes. I forgot to press record when I was building the roof and half the tutorial got missed, but in the end we got it done and it was a great tutorial. Lex the Builder is my favorite Minecraft creator. He does brilliant Minecraft tutorials. Highly recommend. Can't go wrong with any of his builds. But it was time for me to move on. I had to find somewhere new. I was done with this ugly spruce forest and the lack of sheep. I need wool. I need bloody wool and I need it now. So I went looking for some sheep and it took me a while to find them. But once we found those sheep, we found our new home. I don't know what I was thinking with this one. The bloody mansion is huge and I have no resources. I'm in a brand new spot. It took me a month to get the resources I needed to build this house, simply because I was starting from scratch again. Sure, I brought some materials back from the old place, but it just wasn't feasible to go backwards and forwards. It was just taking way too much time. It may have taken me a month to build, but I love this bloody mansion. This is my base of operations. It's where I store all my gear. So for some reason I've got my nether portal upstairs, but I've got 5 basements of storage. So yeah, work that one out. Moving on. Next was the medieval cottage from Lion Cheetah. This was a good fun tutorial. It was a real quick one. It was the first time I'd come across Lion Cheetah and it was a nice little tutorial. Didn't take me very long, but I really liked the result. It came out really good. After the mansion, it was the first medieval house that I built, and it was this house that made me decide to continue with the medieval theme. And continue I did with the medieval theme. The next building was this blacksmith, which I really enjoyed building on my phone. I built this in creative on my phone and I really enjoyed building it. So I thought, why not? I'll build it in survival. It was fun then and it was fun this time as well. If you're going to have a medieval village or a medieval theme, you're going to need a blacksmith. So it's a kind of must-have, right? On to the next. Out of all of the small medieval houses, this one was absolutely my favorite. It was my favorite to build. I think it's the best looking of the small houses. It's original. Its design is cool as everything fits into a tiny, tight little area. You can fit so much stuff inside this house. And the basement is chock-a-block full of storage. There's so many bloody chests down there. It's just unreal. And a bloody nether portal. Why not? Of course I had to build it next to this bloody forest and it's still causing me chaos. Look at all the mobs that hide inside this bloody thing. It's got its complete darkness. In the middle of the day, this forest is still like you're walking around at night. It's crazy how much light doesn't get through Acacia. Crazy, I tell you, it's crazy. Anyway, moving on. Next was this awesome medieval watermill house. I thought this was going to be a piece of cake. I built this in creative on my phone and it was no problem at all. Of course, that's a different story building in survival. I didn't have a water source, so I had to build the lake. I dug it way too deep to start with, so I wasted all that time. I didn't have acacia wood, so I had to build that acacia forest. That said, this build was fun from start to finish. I'm making it sound like it wasn't fun. It was. It was a whole lot of fun. You got that big water wheel. It's something completely different. So, yeah, it was a really good build, a really fun build. You can't go wrong with Neatcraft. What's next? It was time to try something new. Enter the Japanese Cherry Blossom House by Mr. Matt Ranger. Awesome name. Love it. Great design, fun build, but man, did I get hammered by the mobs during this build. It is one of my favorite videos just from all the grief that the mobs gave me throughout this build. It was a fun build, don't get me wrong, but man, the mobs just wouldn't leave me alone. There was just not enough light around this build, so the mobs, as soon as it went dark, they'd come in and they'd harass me, but it was all good. I think it made for a fun video. It just took a long time to record, that's all. Mr. Matt Ranger, I will see you in 2025. Next up was a medieval wizard tower by Big Tony. Big Tony was the very first tutorial that I ever did back on the PlayStation. I've been doing his tutorials for some time, so it was inevitable that I would do a Big Tony tutorial, and here it is. This tower was fun to build, but spiral staircases, absolutely the worst in survival. I just noticed the tower is missing a lantern, so we'll fix that before we go on to the next. Next was the Halloween special Phantom Manor Haunted House from Disneyland in Paris. I should say ADcraft, who did a fantastic job designing this beast. It took me a long time to record. This thing is amazing. I learnt so much from building this house. There's so many different techniques that I'd never used before, different window designs and the whatnot. I got to show you what this thing looks like at nighttime with the moon in the background. A fantastic build. I love it. Finally, we reached the last build for 2024, which was the medieval Bachelor pad by Sunny Sev or Sunny Sev. Either channel is a winner. Go check her out. She does amazing tutorials over there, and I turned this one into somewhat of a Bachelor pad. I'm still going to work on it. I got some mods in my back pocket ready for 2025. We'll save that for next year. I got to save something for 2025. This was an absolute delight to build. Fantastic design. I love it inside and out. I reckon that'll just about do it. That's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you subscribe to the channel, sincerely, thank you so much. It really does mean the world to me. If you haven't subscribed, tell me what I need to do to earn your subscription, and I'll do it. Trust me on this. I'll do it. Anyway, enough of that. Guys, I've got some big plans for 2025. It's going to be a good year. I can feel it. I can feel it's going to be a good year. Lots more tutorials, a lot of different tutorials. It won't just be medieval. I want to expand the Japanese cherry forest. Early next year, there'll be a large build, easily the biggest one I've tackled so far. Yeah, it's a monster. I've already started collecting materials and it's going to take me a while. So that'll be a side project. Until then, Happy New Year. Stay safe out there. Give your mum a hug, and if you've made it this far, you are a legend. See ya! So I spot the skeleton, and I'm zoning in on him, and I'm an idiot. I didn't even notice the creeper, and then all of a sudden there's another one. So I'm like, okay, we got rid of 2 creepers, but no, there's a bloody 3rd creeper. Come on, guys, what the fuck?